right now to Toju Megacin. She's analyst at Financial Derivatives Company. She's going to be joining us to discuss this. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Toju. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
I told you we're seeing Nigeria growing millions and millions of tons of tangerine every year, but import still takes about 70% of what we are seeing here, and not a lot of local production, not a lot of domestic use here. But what's really pushing Nigerians to still reach out for imported tangerines or imported fruits rather than the locally produced ones?
Yes, as you already said, there is a stronger demand for imported tangerines as opposed to locally produced tangerines. And I'll let you know why. Firstly, imported tangerines are perceived to be better quality and have a better taste as well in regards to their appearance and in regards to their sweetness, making them more of an attractive option to consumers as opposed to locally produced tangerines. On the other hand, there's a lack of production when it comes to tangerines in the Nigerian market, which isn't sufficient enough for the demand of the consumption demand as a whole. So that makes us as a nation reliant on importing tangerines from countries such as Morocco, such as South Africa, which are actually the only two countries in the whole of Africa that lead Nigeria in the production of tangerines. And this is done to actually fill in the gap in the supply market.
Well, now let's talk about health versus habits. Tangerines are, we know they're healthy, but also quite acidic. Ulcer is affecting more than half Nigerians right now. Could health worries start changing the way people consume these tangerines?
Well, I'm actually not a doctor, but I could give you my own economic perspective on things. And I do feel like from my research, I have come to know that there actually are amounts of 60% of our population is actually affected by ulcer. And I do feel this will cause a shift in the demand, even though it varies. But although on the other hand, there is a certain what would I say? There's a certain demographic or people with ulcer who have a lower sensitivity when it comes to acid. And we know tangerines are actually moderately acidic with a pH level of 3.9. So I'll expect those people to actually just reduce their intake of tangerines rather than cutting out of their diets completely, compared to those who actually have a higher sensitivity in regards to acid. I would expect those people to then opt for alternatives such as bananas, apples, fruits of that nature with a lower acid.
So are the alternatives any cheaper?
Yes, exactly.
So right now, I just want to talk about other things. We see fuel prices is easing. We see it steady a little bit, not a lot of volatility right now. Naira is steadier, but it appears to be fueling fears of smuggling. How is the black market, especially for tangerines, imported fruits, hitting local farmers, government revenue, and the citrus market, the citrus industry as a whole?
So this illicit trading activities you speak of definitely have an upward pressure on the domestic markets negatively, forcing them to actually reduce their prices in order for them to actually compete with the prices of those who are smuggling these tangerines. With respect to the government now, I do expect the government's revenue to be cut short due to these smugglers actually bypassing taxes imposed on importation of goods by the government.
So this is okay. Go ahead.
In the long run, I do expect the government to actually intervene, try and regulate trade policies, and to increase and boost security around trading in order for local production to thrive to its best potential.
Okay, so basically, we'll see that boost. Where are we at currently in terms of, say, tangerine production in Nigeria? Would you have that number?
Yes, in the recent years, it's been steadily increasing. Currently, I'd say in the past year, we produced 1.7 million tons. But to put that into perspective for you, the two nations I mentioned earlier, South Africa and Morocco, they actually produce between 3 million to 4 million tons per year. So who says we can't do the same?
So if we look at government policies that you're looking to come in, where do you see us? What target do you see for the tangerine industry?
government can definitely have a hand by aiding the agriculture sector more, and in regards to funding and investment, for them to have the appropriate tools and the appropriate training to cultivate these fruits or goods in general, actually.
Thank you so
Crops in
much.
general.
Thank you so much, Toju Megison, analyst, financial derivatives company, for joining us on Business Incorporated and sharing perspective.
Thanks again for having me.